From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Hey there, SportsLine on your television. Steve Lehman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Tuesday night on News Channel 5. Plus, I think we have a fun show lined up for you tonight. Last night we talked so much about the NBA Finals, LeBron James' legacy, and the way things went down this weekend in Game 7. Just a historical matchup between the Warriors and Cavs, a historical outcome with Cleveland getting its first title in 52 years. And, of course, what that all means for LeBron James' legacy now that he's brought a title back to Cleveland. Great discussion last night. But there was one other big event this weekend in terms of the sporting calendar, and that was obviously the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Dustin Johnson breaking through to win his first ever major championship after knocking on that door so many times before, but not without a little bit of controversy with that putt on the fifth green when he stood over the top of it and the ball moved. He never grounded the putter. He never really addressed it, but the ball moved. And Johnson immediately backed off of it and told everybody on the green that what just happened. A rules official came over, explained the situation to him, and the head rules official on the course at the time was the guy he was talking to, and he said, "Did you ground your putter?" And Dustin said emphatically, "No, I did not." Was there anything else that could have done? He said, "I don't know, but I don't think I caused it to move." And the rules official at that time said, "All right, you're good. Nothing to worry about there. Go on, play your round." So Johnson stands back over the putt. He makes it, goes on to tie for the lead, then take the lead outright. And then lo and behold, on the 12th hole, another rules official comes out of the TV trailer and goes up to Dustin Johnson and says, "We've looked at it. We think there's a shot you did cause this ball to move. Is there anything else that could have made it happen that you saw?" And Johnson said no, but again stated, "Look, I don't think I made this thing move. It just moved on its own." And the rules official didn't say for sure you're getting a penalty stroke out of this right then and there, but he alluded to the fact that it may happen. And so if you're Dustin Johnson, you play the last 6 holes of the U.S. Open not really knowing what your score is or what you have to shoot or what the field is trying to shoot against you. That is an impossible situation to be in, and a huge gaffe by the USGA on their biggest weekend of the year. And several other players have mentioned that and said that about this tournament and the way it was run on Sunday, because if you think about it, the other guys who were chasing him out there didn't know the number. Was he at 5 under? Was he at 4 under? Am I 1 back? Am I 2 back? Am I 3 back? What is the score right now? And that is a pretty brutal situation to put everybody on that golf course in. And so that was the huge topic on Sunday. Fortunately, Johnson just goes out, and the one thing that was clear out of the whole situation was the fact that he was the best golfer on the course Sunday, and ultimately the best golfer over the course of the weekend at the U.S. Open. And he ends up winning by 3, 4 shots, depending on whether you think there should have been a penalty or not. That's been a huge topic of conversation, and several players have not let it go in the past couple of days. And on Sunday night, our golf analyst, good buddy, Virgil Herring, came into the studio to help break down the U.S. Open, Johnson's win, and of course, that huge mess by the USGA and the aftermath and response from some of the players. We're going to get to Virgil here in just a second. Coming up later in the program, Tony Formosa from Fairground Speedway gonna be here. We're going to talk about their race coming up on Saturday night and some other things about their summer schedule and the race program over there as well. So big show lined up for you. But first, let's get to Virgil as he came in on Sunday Sports Central to really break down the U.S. Open, how Dustin Johnson went from a guy who was the best player in the world without a major title to a guy that finally broke through on probably the toughest course in the U.S. Open rotation, maybe one of the toughest courses in the entire world in Oakmont. And he did it while having to fight through this controversy. He had to be mentally strong to do it. And what's the correct response from the USGA? Should have been a penalty shot. and how should they have addressed it with the players? Here's Virgil Herring on all of that. Joined now by our buddy Virgil Herring, taking a week off from golf tips to come in and break down Sunday's action at Oakmont. Dustin Johnson's been on the cusp of this for a long time. How did he finally bust through that door on Sunday?
Well, it's hard to believe, but it's 1 year ago yesterday that we were here talking about his 3-putt debacle, from the opportunity to win to losing in about 2 minutes. This week was a total ball striking display where he dominated the golf course with his length, and he hit so many greens regulation, and it negated his poor putting. Now, not that he putted poorly, but this is a golf course where nobody putts great. The greens are super fast and very undulated, so it's almost always the winner of the U.S. Open at Oakmont is the person who drives the ball the best and hits the most greens regulation. And Dustin Johnson did both of those things. Averaged 21 yards longer off the tee than everybody else, than the average for the tour.
Wow.
That's pretty big.
Johnson finished 4 under par. Only 3 other golfers were under par for the entire weekend, but this win was not without controversy. The ball moves on him as he was standing over a putt at number 5, and there was some debate whether there should be a penalty shot right there. A rules official initially said no, but then came back to him on hole 12 to say that there could be a penalty assessed later. Here's what some of Johnson's fellow golfers tweeted out. Rory McIlroy really giving it to the USGA. This is ridiculous. No penalty whatsoever for DJ. Let the guy play without this crap in his head. Amateur hour by the USGA. If it was me, I wouldn't hit another shot until this farce is rectified. And Jordan Spieth chimed in as well. DJ took the high road to take that penalty. This ordeal cannot be overlooked because of a multiple shot victory. Okay, Virgil, how should this have been handled? And should it have even been a penalty in the first place?
Well, without piling on like I'm coming from the top rope, I'll just let the major champions speak for themselves. No, it should not have been a penalty. He did not ground his club behind the ball, and he stopped. The ball oscillated. And I think what people don't understand, that especially the layperson who's watching this, is that these are the fastest and the slopiest greens on the planet, more so than Augusta National. So the ball more than likely moved just because it's sitting on a slope. So that made it frustrating. So the players are losing their mind over it, because for him to be deemed moving it, he would have had to have touched it or at least put the club behind the ball on the ground. He did neither. So that's why this has turned into quite a poor performance by the USGA, and it's not being let go by the past major champions for sure.
Yeah, McIlroy and Spieth both tweeting about it because, frankly, they had nothing to do with the back 9 on Sunday here. McIlroy went home for the weekend. Spieth backed up along with Jason Day. Is Dustin Johnson now belong in that group with those guys?
Well, I think that one of the things that goes without saying is that for the longest time, Dustin Johnson has been criticized for his mental lack of performance going into this tournament. But this demonstrates, can you imagine what it would be like to find out after you've been cleared 7 holes later with the U.S. Open hanging in the balance that, oh, you might get penalized? And he handled it with amazing grace and consternation. He really locked in and hit some amazing shots down the stretch. I believe that this will help put him into the same conversation as Spieth, Day, and McIlroy. And with that one major, which ties him with Day, that's hard to say, with McIlroy having 4 already, that he doesn't, or 5 already, that he shouldn't already have that amount. But I think that puts him, now we have a big 4, Dustin Johnson for sure.
DJ finally gets that first one. Who's the best golfer out there without one?
You'd have to say Ricky Fowler, because he's the one that has the most fanfare. He's won a lot of big golf tournaments that aren't majors, so it'd have to be Ricky Fowler. I mean, I'm sure you could put Sergio Garcia and Brandt Snedeker and Lee Westwood and Hideki Matsuyama into that mix, but when it comes right down to it, Ricky Fowler is the highest rated player to not have won a major, and he's won the Players Championship among many other big golf tournaments. Ricky Fowler by a hair.
Dustin Johnson finally gets number 1. Virgil, stick around. We're going to talk Nashville Golf Open coming up. Thanks to Virgil Herring for coming in on Sunday night to talk about that. It was certainly a big topic of conversation around the water cooler for people who like golf and watched over the course of the week. It'll be interesting to see what happens as they move over the pond for the Open Championship coming up next month. That is the next major on the calendar. Perhaps a shot for Ricky Fowler to do exactly what Virgil was talking about right there and get that monkey off of his back. Going to take our first break here. When we come back, we're going to welcome in our good buddy Tony Formosa to the show from Fairgrounds Speedway. Talk about the race coming up this weekend and many other things as well. Stay tuned. By the way, our phone lines are open, 737-7767. If you'd like to jump in on the program tonight, we invite you to do that. Phone lines wide open for you if you want to be a part of the show. Stay tuned. More SportsLine on the way right after this.